next symptom I want to cover is headaches and this feeling of tightness and tension in the head. Quite a lot of you said you had this, and quite a few said it was an extreme symptom. So I am a migraine sufferer. Anybody listening, are you also a migraine sufferer? So it's very, very common. If you've had migraines as a PMS symptom, historically, we are more predisposed to having migraines and headaches in perimenopause. They can get quite bad. So the reason why we get headaches with hormone fluctuations in a normal cycle pre-menopause, what happens is you have this big surge of progesterone and estrogen just before you have your period. And the migraines nearly always happen when the levels of those drop off. So then the period happens and then you get bang, you get a migraine. And it's because when our hormone levels are moving smoothly, like in the first phase of an ordinary cycle, pre-menopause, our blood vessels are very compliant, i.e. they dilate and they constrict nice and slowly, which the brain likes because the blood flow doesn't kind of change in pressure in the brain too radically. However, PMS, that huge drop in hormones just prior to a period, if you're susceptible to migraines, that can be a trigger. So then it stands to reason, if you've already been a migraine or headache sufferer pre-perimenopause, you're going to be more likely to have headaches during perimenopause. So I would say key things are, I would definitely track them, really track your migraines. If you get to the point where your standard migraine medication isn't effective, if you're having like 10 headaches a month, I would suggest you seriously go speak to a GP and talk about options. I am definitely going to go down the HRT route with my head because I know how debilitating they can be. I had one of my clients who is based in Germany who had always had severe migraines with PMS, and she started to get horrendous migraines. Like she was having a migraine like 2 a week. She was my age, and I suggested she went to speak to her GP to say, could this be perimenopausal? She was fobbed off, told to go away. It got so severe. She had so many symptoms that were all definitely perimenopausal. But eventually she did get noticed after crying in front of a gynecologist. Can't speak today. Gynae. And they did her blood tests and found she was actually postmenopausal with her levels. And she is now undergoing brain scans and things to see whether there's been any damage to her brain due to such severe drops in estrogen, and her symptoms were very, very severe. So I'm quite hot on this. So if anybody comes to me and says I've got constant migraines, I'm like, go to a GP, and I would suggest the HRT route. There are things we can do to help with this blood vessel compliance with our diet. There are certain foods that we can eat and certain things we can drink that help to make this make the blood vessel constriction and dilation sort of more smooth. So things like spinach, watermelon, beetroot, anything rich in nitric oxide, basically. That's the key chemical that we need to be consuming to help with the symptoms. I have got a recipe for a smoothie I will share within the group that will be helpful for you. But please, please, please go and speak to a GP if you are struggling. Also, there is a fantastic book. I'm just going to see if I've got it on my bookshelf next to me. Where is it? By the Migraine Doctor. I'll put it in the group. I'll share it with you. She's one of the top migraine specialists in the UK. I went to her with my head after hitting it, and she was superb. So I'll share her details as well. So her book does cover menopause and migraines, so that'd be a really useful read for you as well.